Hello everybody! Today is the full moon, and I figured that I would share my pre-ritual and post-ritual practices with you guys today. I have pre-ritual practices because I feel that there are certain things that you just need to do in order to prepare for a ritual or to get ready for a ritual, or even things that you can't do within a ritual that you're still going to want to do in celebration. I think that post-ritual practices are important because that's the time you have to reflect and cool down after having your entire celebration process. So what I do for pre-ritual practices, first off, I take a bath or a shower, I cleanse myself. The purpose is to cleanse the self of other energies that you don't want during your celebration. Anything negative, anything that doesn't really fit in, anything that's just you want to be completely clear and ready. So, taking a bath, generally putting forth your own general cleansing method is what I would do for the purpose of cleansing before a ritual. After that, before a ritual, you want to write or prepare the ritual itself. You want to make sure that before your ritual, you actually know what you're going to be doing during your ritual. And you may have already written a ritual, and it turns out you don't want to use that ritual at all. And it would suck to find out that you don't want to use that ritual after you've already started doing it because it no longer applies. So it's always very important, especially if you don't even have everything that you need. Like, something that is very important in every ritual is to make sure that you have everything that you think that you need for your ritual before you do it. So with this, you want to, like, if you haven't written a ritual yet, write one. If you don't like your current ritual, revise it or write another one. Or if you don't have all of the tools you need, either go buy the tools you need, make the tools you need, or make modifications to your ritual based off the supplies you do have currently. Because you don't actually need to go and have very specific things for most rituals. You can generally find a substitute every here and there. So that's a very important step in a pre-ritual process, otherwise we're going to be sitting there left out of everything. After this, it comes to picking out the ritual clothes. So the ritual clothes need to be picked out based off of what you're going to be doing and what your plans are. If you're not necessarily going to be getting to the ritual right away, then the ritual clothes need to fit in with everything else you're doing as well. So make sure that the clothes fit the purpose. If you're going sky-clad, that's great, but this is also a time that you would put on clothes if you do not intend necessarily starting right away. And in general, if you've already cleansed yourself and you can't start right away, and you're putting on clothes, and you're going to want the clothes to match the energies that you want to set as intentions for yourself. So I actually do use clothes as part of my setting intention, as a sort of spell for what I intend to be doing during this ritual. And then it gets around to a very fun part of the pre-ritual practices that I do. I generally have pre-ritual activities. This includes making anything that I think would be really cool for the ritual, or that I just think would be nice to make. Like, for example, if it's Lammas and I want to make a corn doll, that would be something that I would do in a pre-ritual activity, because I'm not necessarily going to have all of the supplies with me during ritual. Although I can do it during ritual, I probably would be doing something else. So that's actually something that I would consider to be a pre-ritual activity. Also, in pre-ritual activities, there involves cooking things for the cakes and ale portion of the ritual, so that you actually have food and drink. You actually want to get those things made and ready. And then this would also include doing things that won't fit inside of your circle that you still want to do. Like, you want them to be in a ritual, but you can't put them in your circle. There's just not enough space, or it's in a very inconvenient spot. It's in a completely different area than you want to do your ritual. You should still do them just before you do the ritual, so that, you know, it's all a part of the whole process. You still do it, it's just not necessarily a part of the main part. So everything gets done, and everything you wanted to do is done. You don't have to worry about trying to fit it in your circle, because you can just have 2. You can have as many as you like. You can make this a multiple day process. This whole celebration can take a very long time. And I think that's exciting, because I love long celebrations. After that, the very last pre-ritual activity, which I suggest doing right before you actually intend to do the ritual, is to set up for the ritual. Like, you bring all of your supplies out there to wherever you intend to do your ritual. You set them all up, you place them in all of the right places, you light candles or incense, assuming you aren't going to be doing that during the ritual. You cleanse whatever space you have going for you. Like, this is all like a part of setting up for that particular ritual. You want to get the space ready before you actually do the ritual itself. And after all of that, I do the ritual at that point. Like, the ritual itself happens. The first thing I do for post-ritual is cleanup. You don't want to leave all of your ritual stuff outside. 1, because it might get stolen. 2, because animals might try to eat it. If it was an offering, that's a good thing. But other than that, you generally want to bring your tools and your book shadows or whatever else you have with you inside, because you do not want to leave them outside. You don't want to be ruining nature, because if you actually add any sort of plastic out there, or it's something that's actually damaging to certain animals' intestines, like, you want to make sure that everything out there is safe to leave in nature if you're going to leave it there. Otherwise, you want to clean it up right away before anything can get to it. Also, because you don't want your things to be stolen. So that's, like, really important to do right away, right when you're done, no matter what. Like, even if you're exhausted and tired, this is something that you most certainly should do. The next thing that I would do as a post-ritual activity is meditate. This is a very reflective act. I think that it would be very possible, assuming you didn't necessarily go into astral projection during ritual, that this would be a good time to do that as well. Or during this, you're sitting there and you have all of your things done and you need to reflect. Like, this is also a time where you could just sit there and reflect on everything that occurred, anything that you learned, anything that's going on, so that you have everything all set in stone and you know what's all the purposes and finishing touches of your ritual. Like, everything is there. Your intention has been set, you know what you did. You also can just reflect on the whole thing, make critiques of yourself, know what you could do better, all of that sort of thing. And the final thing that I do is write in my diary, which the entire purpose of that is to record the event. I want everything about it to be recorded in there. Because, yes, I do record my life on camera. I'm not going to record my ritual, because my ritual is actually very private to me, and I don't necessarily want to share that with the entire world, which is why the most you ever really see from my rituals are pictures, which I usually take because it looks very beautiful, and I love it when things look beautiful. So I really don't want to have that on the internet. But I do write it down in my diary because I do see a very important need to record everything that I do, not to mention if I happen to need to refer to this later, especially in a year's time when I do the same ritual again, or intend to revise the ritual. Everything is there for me to see. I can see what my thoughts were on the ritual after the process is over. I can see what I thought during, after, any part of the ritual that I wrote down. I write in my diary at the end, sometimes during, depending on what I'm necessarily doing. I added post-ritual and pre-ritual activities to my practice because I felt a need for it. One of the hardest things that I found about celebrating the SBATs and Sabbats was that I was never really prepared, and I didn't necessarily know how to react to them afterwards. Like, I didn't want to just finish the ritual and be done. I felt like that was incomplete. And so I felt this burning need to be able to practice without having to worry about messing up, with not actually being able to do what I wanted to do, or messing up and just not having everything that I felt like needed to be done. I wanted everything to feel complete, and that is the entire purpose of me adding this to my practice. This is new to me, so if any of you guys would like to share your pre-ritual and post-ritual practices, it's welcome in the comments below. I hope you enjoy your full moon night, and I probably am posting this after the full moon, considering I'm making this on the night of the full moon, so I hope you have a nice night in general, even if it isn't the full moon. Blessed be. Have a nice day. Thank you for watching.